behind me is the BMW M850i. Now you can tell we've been driving it with the top down because Dave's hairstyle is a little bit muffled.
At least I've still got hair. That's right, top up, top down. This is a brilliant grand coupe that you're just going to want to drive. Come, let's take a closer look. So the new BMW 8 Series comes in 3 different variants. You've got the M8, the super fast M8. You've got the M8 Grand Coupe, and also you've got the M850i Convertible, which is obviously this model. You can tell because it doesn't have a roof. Looking closer, look, you can't miss the kidney grills. They're not as big as coming out in, say, the M3 or the M4, but you know, still rather substantial. But I believe it actually fits in nicely here. It grows across here nicely. These also open up to let the air in when you need be, so opens up and cools down, which is cool. Lovely lower air vents, lower scoops to go through, and also this comes as a carbon package, so they're actually fitted around here with some, I don't know, some carbon detailing. The headlights are laser and matrixy, so very cool, very bright, and actually I think it gives an extra 500 meters of length, so it's just, you can see just, I don't know, night becomes day, something like that. And look at this lovely long boot. Lovely long boot. Look at this lovely long bonnet. It's just, I don't know, I love that sort of sporty nose that's just ready to go. Round the side, beautiful sleek shape. Look at that. Nice lovely flow, low center of gravity and low roof line. Actually, I can actually look over it, so it's got to be good. It's got to be low. Pretty long and as I say, pretty sleek. 20-inch wheels, look, really nice with run flats on them, and actually it doesn't offer such a rough ride as I was expecting to be square with you. Fake air vents that I would assume that the M8 would actually have nice bit of airflow through, and badging. Some more carbon detailing here, very cool. And this roof, as I say, if you wanted to turn, I don't know, if it starts to rain at under 50 kilometers per hour, you can actually top this up and it'll take, I think it's 15 seconds. So topless or untopless, 15 seconds. Tell you, there's a couple of girls I'd be interested to know that with anyway. Round the rear, there's actually quite a lot of drama to the rear. I mean, aside from it being quite expansive and, you know, just fat bottom girl, but there's obviously the tail light. You've got LED tail lights here, or stop light LED tail lights. xDrive, because it is four-wheel drive and really good on the road. You've got some more carbon facing across all around here. Quad exhaust, but actually they're surrounded with just 2 singles, so they've, I guess BMW are playing it down a little bit. And also a kicker tailgate that opens up to 350 litres when the roof is up and just 280 when it's down. But it does have an extra secret. These seats drop down and give you access to the boot from this side. So actually a little bit of extra room. Let's look under the bonnet. BMW's 4.4 litre V8 twin-powered turboed engine that offers 390 kilowatts, 750 newton meters of torque, 0 to 100 comes in at 3.9 seconds. It offers 10.6 litres per 100 kilometers in fuel efficiency and emissions of 243 grams per kilometer. Something else that's red and racy is Matthew, and he'll take you around the inside and show you what that's all about.
As you can see, I am wearing red today, and I guess it's racy, some may say, but something else that's certainly racy is the way this car looks, and the way the doors, the frameless doors in fact, open, and when you get in, they're actually soft close as well. So if you have a problem with shutting doors like I do, this car will help you out just fine. Once you're in here, and it does take a little bit of effort to get in because this car is low and the seats are very low, but these seats are super comfortable. The perforated leather is very soft, and the bolsters, everything, it just feels really comfortable. And these headrests, well, they're like pillows, frankly. They are that soft, and they are heated, so when you want to have the top down on a cold day, that'll keep your neck warm. One thing you'll notice is this two-tone interior, so you get black leather on the top and then a sort of mocha kind of color leather in the middle, which BMW likes to call Merino Tartufo, whatever that means. I know a couple of languages and I'm not sure any of them have a particular color, but anyway, let's not get into the linguistics of it. The car color is of course called Barcelona Blue, um, which means that Messi is not going to want to have anything to do with it. But anyway, something that really impresses me with this interior is that whatever is not covered in leather or nice aluminium is soft plastic. I mean, down here, the door panels, it's all just soft stuff. And the door cubbies themselves are actually felt lined, which is a nice touch. It is of course a very premium car, so having hard plastics in here would be inexcusable, but that's not the case. Everything is soft. You also get a flurry of piano black plastics across the middle here, which don't really attract many fingerprints, and that's something that BMW do quite well. Something else that's a standout with this interior is of course this glass gear shifter knob, this glass BMW iDrive rotator knob, and even if you look closely there, the volume button has got that sort of angle glass look to make it look like it's crystals. It's very cool actually. Speaking of other things that are practical, you do get that digital instrument cluster, which currently we're in sport mode, so everything's red and orange and very angry looking. BMW does do these things well, so you get it nice and clear, big display, and you get the rev meter on the right, speedo on the left, and a whole bunch of other information, including the current speed limit, the range, all that stuff. And if you'll notice, the colors on the fuel gauge and temperature gauge almost reflect an M Sport kind of color. I don't know if they've intended to be like that, but certainly does come across that way. Speaking of other screens in this car, you do get that middle infotainment screen, which is BMW's iDrive system, very familiar by now, and you have multiple options through which you can use that. Of course, it's a touch screen now, so I can, change the settings of the car through using my finger. It is a little bit slow, but it is at least easy to use and quite simply laid out. So when you are driving along and you want to adjust the settings of the car, it's not a hard task. You also get the option of using the knob on here and press it down to select different options. And then there's the buttons as well. So BMW does that really well too. And of course it has the Hey BMW feature for your automatic assistance. That does make things a little bit easier if the system can recognize your voice. But again, it's pretty good at that. That infotainment system, and more importantly this glass covered button over here, gives you access to that hum and cadence system, which is standard on this car and sounds really good when you're not paying attention to that burbling exhaust note in the back. Speaking of things in the back, you would have noticed that there's two seats behind me because this is a 2+2 convertible. But I'm sorry to disappoint you, but I'm not going to be jumping into the back of the seats in this car. They are too cramped even for someone like me. So with that out of the way, let's get straight into the next part, the exciting part. Let's take this car for a drive and see what this convertible can really do.
So the M850i convertible, I really do like drop tops convertibles. I don't know, whatever else you want to call them. They just give you that sense of freedom, particularly when the roof's down. Although we don't have it down right now because otherwise you won't be able to hear us, which some would say would probably be a good idea, but we're not listening to those. The BMW really does take it to the nth degree, and they are great at coupes. We know they're great at coupes, and this is an ultra coupe. It's lovely.
They do these sort of convertibles really well. As you know, the Z4, that's been going for years, and this is a bigger, faster, meaner version of that. It's a whole different car in terms of its characteristics, but if you strip it down to the bare bones of being a convertible, this is just the Z4, but everything's intensified. And also you get 2 semi-usable seats in the back.
Semi-usable, you know, if you're very... I wouldn't want to go back there, put it that way, but then, you know. The funny enough, as I've just proven there, the turning circle on this is amazing. I'm really astounded for such a long car, you know, almost, well, actually not far off 5 meters. It just spins around really nicely, and it's a four-wheel drive system, so it should just take an age to go around, but it doesn't. It just turns really nicely. And then there's the power. The power, once you go into Sport or Sports Plus and just drop it down, it just takes off, and boy does it take off. And it sounds great too. It rev matches on the way down, and just has a sense of fun about it. It's great.
It looks sort of kind of formal from the outside if you're looking at it, and especially with the top up, you know, it doesn't look like it'll be reckless, if you like, but somehow it just does do that. And every time you slow down, you put your foot on the brake a little bit, it just pops and crackles and does everything that, you know, excites you. And especially when the roof is down, you can hear the real true sound of that V8, and it really is a good sound.
It is. Just dropping it down even. Let's see if we can get you on the microphones out there, but it just sounds great. Seating position, you are low to the ground. We've been driving a lot of SUVs at the moment, as you are fully aware if you're an avid watcher, which you better be. This just seems almost unnatural to be so low to the ground, but then once you get going and once you head into a curve, you realize what you've been missing on such tall vehicles.
It's almost unnerving, frankly, because this is a low car to get in by anyone's standards, and with run flat tires, currently we're even in sport mode, which is supposed to firm up the suspension, but it's just comfortable. My back is not being broken to pieces, and you know, my voice is not being jittered by the harsh ride. It's comfortable, and you can't comprehend this sort of thing in a sports car with an M badge, with a V8 in the front, but in essence it's a true sports car. And with the top down, well, it's frankly what BMW does best. It is the ultimate driving machine.
Oh, there you go with those taglines again. Actually, even there's a little button here to heat the steering wheel, just as a point of note, which is cool. Warm and toasty for your mittens. The infotainment system is great. The stereo system is loud and plays out my 80s music to the nth degree. And all round it is a lovely, lovely drive. I mean, it's a drive that will thrill you around the corners, and also you'd be quite happy to go for a long drive in this.
Speaking of the 80s, I know the music was great, but frankly so were the cars as well. And BMW actually did have a car with the 850 badge on it back then, and it was a V8 sports car, and this is, I guess you could say, in some ways the modern day rendition of it. It's still a 2+2, it's still got a V8 in the front, and it still grabs the eyes of people as you go past.
Did that used to have, was that when the numbers actually meant something?
It did take you back to a time when car models were easier to interpret, shall we say.
So there you have it, the BMW M850i. It's a great looking car, top up or top down, although in weather like this I do prefer the top down. It's smart, it's fast, and it's loud. You know, what more could you want in a vehicle?
It's got all the cool little bits that we love about the M badges, but it's got that all important performance factor as well.
Thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe.
And once you're done watching our videos, we do have plenty to choose from. Make sure you keep your eyes on the road.
Now, top down, let's go for a drive.